Hey everybody, it's Roy from ANSgear. We're upstairs with the Clock 66. This is the new chrono from Virtue right here. So the clock has been used for ever and ever and ever and ever in all sorts of tournaments and things like that. And this is the newest version, the Clock 66 right here. So same design, same look as the older clock that was out there. But this one has been designed to meet there's a standard for waterproofing, which is IP66, and that's why this clock is called Clock 66, designed to meet IP66 waterproof standard. So again, an all environment chrono right there, because we all know there are events that people are playing in where it is raining or muddy or dirty or whatever. And the chronograph needs to be able to work in those conditions. So this brand new one right here, obviously designed robust to hold up to those specific standards. So here's our box. This is what the Clock 66 is going to look like right here. It's going to run on 2 of the 123A style batteries right there. So if you're looking for batteries, 123A, it's a very typical camera battery. That's what you're going to need right there. Weather protected. It's got better battery setups. All sorts of data this thing does. Displays feet per second, balls per second, peak FPS, peak balls per second, average feet per second, game and break timer. And then the consistency, the plus or minus consistency has been improved as well. It also does Bluetooth. So if you have the app on your phone, all of this information can be sent from the clock to the phone or the Bluetooth app, whatever it happens to be, wherever that app is at, and can be logged there as well. Reliability obviously has been increased from the electronics, the hardware, the pieces that it's actually made out of. It's more accurate. You can have all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of options as far as programming options now. Break timers, countdown options, alarms, minimums, maximums on feet per second, all sorts of stuff. You can change the name on it. You can update the firmware. You can do all sorts of things. And it's, it's the same shape on there. So let's look at it. Let's take a look inside the box here. Slide it open. Little instruction card inside there to just give you basic information and how to do the programming on it, how to get into the programming. If you are old enough to remember Virtue boards for guns back in the day, the programming sequence is very similar to how those boards worked right there. And then it says something in right. So with this, we'll talk about it when we turn it on. Go to the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever, to get the app. So here it is. Comes in a nice foam box right here. If this foam box is too big or too bulky for you, they also sell a tin box like this, where it has the foam cut out in there as well. So this can just kind of go down inside there. And then you could take it around like that. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Some people like a fancy little box for it. All right, so here we go. We've got our display on the back side right here. We've got a button right here, which will help us toggle through some options. Our trigger underneath right here. We've got our tripod mount on the bottom right here. So if you want to mount it up to a tripod, you could. And then our battery compartment down here at the bottom. Now, when it comes to the tripod mount on here, you have to set the gun in tripod mode. So there's an option inside of here where you can just pull the trigger and it will just continuously read. So you can set it up on a tripod. People come up to it and shoot over the top of it, and it will read information. It'll read feet per second or whatever happens to be going on. If you're using this in normal operation, not in tripod mode, you have to hold the trigger down and then shoot over the top of it, and it will read for you. If you don't hold the trigger down, then it won't read anything on there. So you have to hold the trigger while they shoot in order for the reading to come out. So that's important. Tripod mode is different. It continuously reads, and that's when you would set it up on there. So we'll take that off. We'll drop our 2 batteries in. Screw this back together. And then we can hold our trigger down. And it's going to come on right there. So we've got our reading that's up on the screen. If we wanted to get a reading, we would hold the trigger down, and it's going to come to zeros right there, and then we would shoot over the top of it. Obviously, we don't have a gun right here, so we're not going to get any readings on there. We let go of the trigger, and then it goes back to our information screen right there as to what is going on. Our averages, our BPS, our feet per second, and if the Bluetooth's on, you can see it switching back and forth right there. All right, now to go to programming, I believe we have to wait for it to be off. So let's let it shut off. Press the trigger button and the button at the same time. So maybe we could do it when it's already on. Let's see. Yeah, you can. So even if the clock is on already, you can just hold the button right here and the trigger and go into the programming mode. And if we hit the button or the trigger, it scrolls forward. If we hit the button, it scrolls back. So let's just go through here. So we've got our BPS limit setting, our FPS limit setting, standby time, how long it will stay before it shuts itself off, our timers, if we want them to count up or count down, our break time, our game time, firmware update, the name of the, I changed it to my name on there, tripod mode, Bluetooth, if it's sending out the Bluetooth signal or not, or demo mode. If it's in demo mode, it just kind of randomly generates numbers and shows you crazy things on there. If you want it to make sounds while it's on and whatnot. So all the options are there. Programming is super simple. You just hold the button down, go in, change it, and then let it do its own thing, and it saves the setting and exits out. So really simple. And then to exit out of programming, just hold that down, and then we're out of the programming right there. It's a simple device to use. So we're going to go outside right now. We're going to shoot some guns over the top of it and show you how the Clock 66 works. All right, guys, we are now outside. We've got the Clock 66. We've got a 170R. We filled it up with some paint. We're going to go ahead and shoot this and then just kind of show you the readout of what we get right here. We'll shoot just a couple balls. We'll shoot a string of balls, and then we'll show the solutions or the options that you get on the screen right there. So we're going to go right here. We're going to shoot. We got a 261. We got a 273. We got a 274. We got a 260. And then we can do a couple strings like that. Like that. Like that. And then if I come over here, you can see that we had 273 on that last ball, but if I let go, you can see that our deviation was plus or minus 9 feet per second. We had a 14.9 balls per second average right there. Oh, and it disappeared. It's probably not going to stay there. But then it showed our last reading of velocity-wise that was up on the screen. So it's going to show us a bunch of things. You can show our deviation, our max up and down between balls. It'll show us our feet per second, our balls per second, our average feet per second. It'll show all sorts of things. So it's easy to use. You just pull the trigger, put it up underneath the gun, and pull, and it's going to read just like that. 260. Get your Clock 66 at ANSgear.com.